Hello everybody, it's Foo here, and today I'm bringing you another video eventually, and it's a really good one because we're looking at Runerigus, how to make it ridiculously powerful, capable of one-hit KOing so many things, and also an accidental Easter Bunny in a disgusting and ridiculous Diggersby set that I can't wait to share with you. First, just to let you know, everything is fine over here. I've been a bit frustrated because I haven't been able to bring you as much content as I wanted to. That's simply because I've actually been really busy at work. So though it's frustrating, I acknowledge that I'm in a really privileged position in that my work is unaffected by the current situation. I've still got my income and everything. Everything is okay over here. I hope you guys are okay too. And I hope that I can bring you some distraction in these trying times with this video. So I thought I'd just jump straight into some battles because that's the funnest way to show what this thing can do. And so the first battle is basically my Diggersby Runerigus lead is always going to be the case. My opponent unfortunately decided to lead with two things that are weak to ground types, and I've got two ground types, which is fantastic. However, also, I really rely on Trick Room Runerigus, and they've got a dark type in Tyranitar that's very scary. If they double down into my Runerigus, my strategy is ruined. So I'm hoping they don't do that. But the idea is we go for Brutal Swing with my Diggersby because it does spread damage, hits everything, breaks sashes on the opponent's side of the field, but most importantly, it triggers my Runerigus's Wandering Spirit ability, meaning that it swaps abilities and Runerigus gets huge power with a much higher base attack stat than Diggersby, so it becomes insanely powerful. Plus, you activate its weakness policy all in one turn while getting up Trick Room, so that the following turn, you're like insanely strong and the fastest thing on the field. That's the idea behind it anyway. Unfortunately, we see the opponent straight away Dynamaxing their Tyranitar, definitely with the intention of attacking with it. So that's not ideal for me at all. So the opponent's going to go for a Swords Dance with their Excadrill. Not really sure why. Presumably they've got maybe a Focus Sash. Otherwise, it's not a very safe position to be going for Swords Dances. But I do go for the Brutal Swing, obviously doing some damage to my Runerigus, and then they're going for the Max Darkness. This is not ideal, but we do survive, making me think that it's probably a Dark Pulse Tyranitar because I'm more specially defensive than defensive. Either way, Runerigus is very, very bulky. This Runerigus has no attack investment, it's all just bulk investment, and we are able to set up that Trick Room. So that turn kind of worked as well as it could have worked because my strategy was, even though my Runerigus is on like no health, it doesn't need much health, it just needs to be alive because now it's going to do insane damage. So I'm going to switch out my Diggersby here. It's not doing too much and I just want to go for an Earthquake with my Runerigus rather than like Dynamaxing it and doing some damage that way. I feel like Earthquake with the spread damage is going to be more beneficial in the long run. Brutal Swing's so good for potentially breaking sashes because I don't have to worry about that this turn anyway. So I'm just going to switch out into my Golly Gosh, the Pelipper, to be immune to the Earthquake. And we can see how much damage we do. It's obviously a bulky Tyranitar, but it doesn't survive that Earthquake because Runerigus is just insanely strong. It's got a higher attack stat than a Swords Dance or Excadrill in that first turn. That's mental. It's just so strong. So that's really nice. It doesn't need much health because it can just do all the damage. It's cool because I think you can like one-hit KO Ferrothorn or loads of things. If you do Dynamax it, you can one-hit KO pretty much anything. Anyway, the opponent brings in their other two Pokemon, both of which are also weak to ground type, so not great planning on their part. But I'm slightly worried about the Shadow Sneak, so I kind of want to do some positioning here, and also I'm so far in front that I thought that it's fine. They've already used their Dynamax. I can use my Dynamax to scout for the Shadow Sneak with Max Guard. So that's what I'm going to do here, and the opponent, we can see what they want to do. I think Shadow Sneak is very common on Aegislash. They could well run like Steel type move, Close Combat is almost guaranteed on any Aegislash set, and then Shadow Sneak or a different Ghost type move. You see a number of different Ghost type moves nowadays. But fortunately for me, with the two ground types, like Toxtricity really can't do anything. I'm immune to the Boom Burst on Runerigus too, so as long as Aegislash can't touch my Runerigus, which it probably can, but if it can't, then I'm in a good position. But we see here that the ghost move of choice that the opponent has gone for is Shadow Claw, so that works out really in my favor because the Runerigus is definitely going to be the slowest thing on the field. This is a min speed brave Runerigus. Boom Burst is doing nothing. That's a Life Orb Boom Burst does nothing to my max special defense janky ass Diggersby with the Assault Vest. You're going to see in the second battle that I'm going to show you, you're going to see the beauty of this Diggersby set. It's so cool. Can't wait. But yeah, it means that we can kind of clean up this battle now because the opponent has no way to stop the Max Quake coming into the Toxtricity and doing like the most damage possible in a Pokemon game with huge power, +2 attack, Max Quake into a 4 times weak Pokemon. This thing is blown to the Shadow Realm. So that's the Toxtricity dealt with, and we just need to take out the Aegislash, which should be fine. I mean, it's either going to target into Diggersby, which I can then follow up the next time with Runerigus, or it takes out the Runerigus, but I do have my Diggersby, which can just go for a foul play. Obviously, in Blade form, Aegislash is not a big fan of foul play, so that's going to drop too. So that's just showcasing how this team works. You're basically trying to get that Brutal Swing Trick Room play off the first turn. The Diggersby is like minimum attack, but because of the huge power, it still outputs some damage, so you have to bear that in mind. But what's cool is it can't be redirected. Unlike Aqua Jet into Colossal, this is a combination that you see sometimes, so you're trying to activate Colossal's Weakness Policy and Steam Engine all in one turn. But if the opponent goes for Follow Me, you can be redirected into the opponent and your strategy is done for, it doesn't work. Whereas Brutal Swing, because it hits everything, Follow Me doesn't work, and you can still get this strategy to work, which is pretty cool. Anyway, let's get into the second battle, because I think it's a really fun battle to show you. The strategy is fun, but it's not foolproof. It doesn't always work. So we're going up against an opponent who's leading Whimsicott Lucario, which is definitely looking like beat up justified shenanigans, but we'll see if we can pull through. So what we're going to go for, obviously, the Brutal Swing Trick Room, see if we can pull it off. If the opponent targets into Runerigus, we might live. We're bulky, we're very defensive, so we'll see what moves the Lucario has to hit through, because maybe it doesn't have a dark type move, so we might be able to survive. So anyway, Lucario does Dynamax, obviously a very strong move coming our way, which isn't ideal. And we see here that the opponent does go for the beat up, meaning that Lucario is going to get 4 justified boosts in one turn. That's very scary. So that's +4 attack. But I don't know, maybe I will still be able to survive something. It depends what they're going for. I mean, Max Knuckle into Diggersby probably will take it out, and Max Special Defense Assault Vest, but no physical bulk, only Max HP, so probably a +4 Max Knuckle would take out my Diggersby. But we'll have to see what they go for. So they're actually going to go for a Max Quake, which isn't stab, so maybe something will live. Runerigus doesn't live though, so that's not ideal. And that's, yeah, it means that the strategy is not going to work for this battle whatsoever. And it also means that we're going for Brutal Swing, which is resisted by both Pokemon, and gives another justified boost, which wasn't the best idea in the world. But I've got a plan. I'm hoping that if I switch into my Sash Ludicolo, we can maybe fake out into the Whimsicott, and I'm hoping that I can salvage this somehow. We've still got outs from this. So yeah, if I switch into my Ludicolo, I'm going to fake out Whimsicott, because I'm thinking maybe the opponent thinks if they can go for an Energy Ball on my Chad, the Diggersby, and they can go for, and then they can target into Ludicolo just for the damage. So they're trying to get a double down this turn. If they don't target into my Diggersby, which they're not doing because they're going for Max Ooze, which is great, I can still survive with Ludicolo, and I can go for a foul play with Diggersby. Obviously, they've now got the +5 attack after Brutal Swing and 4 beat-ups. But what's really important and cool to note is huge power works for foul play. So though you use your opponent's attack stat, that's before abilities and items are taken into account, it's actually the user's items and abilities that are taken into account. So huge power using a +5 Lucario's attack stat is able to take out the Lucario despite it being resisted and despite it having Dynamax health. That was such a beautiful turn, and I loved it. This Diggersby set is so weird, but it's so cool. So I've also got the Super Fang, which is a really neat move as well, because obviously usually you brutal swing and you lose your huge power, you get the Wandering Spirit. So Super Fang allows Diggersby still to have some damage output and to be able to support quite well. Anyway, so now we've got 1 HP Pokemon against 3 pretty much full health Pokemon, and then we've got our Diggersby and Pelipper in the back. I went for Ice Beam against the Whimsicott because if they switched into Pelipper, it's not got great special defense. We'd have still done some good damage. But unfortunately, that was like a speed tie, or their Ludicolo is timid, so it outsped. But we do get the Super Fang on the Ludicolo, and our Pelipper doesn't have the worst matchup here. And the opponents already used their Dynamax, and we've been able to take that out. So we do have that up our sleeve, and that's what we're going to go for now. We'll just go for Dynamax Airstream into Ludicolo. I haven't used Dynamax Pelipper much, but it's such a fun Pokemon because that Airstream is very helpful. You're able to set up Rain again if you need to. It's just really, really neat. I like it a lot. So yeah, we're going for the Max Airstream into Ludicolo. Hopefully it's not able to do too much damage before it goes down because it will outspeed with the Swift Swim. But once we take it out, we'll get the speed boost, and then Pelipper will be the fastest thing left, so that's cool. They're actually going for the Ice Beam into Diggersby, which we can eat for days. They were probably hoping that that might KO, because if I was an offensive Diggersby, obviously it would do a lot more damage, but it doesn't. Maybe they had Hydro Pump and just wanted to guarantee they hit the Diggersby, but that didn't work out for them because Ice Beam did not do enough damage. And then I'm able to get the Super Fang off after the Airstream. I'm faster than the Pelipper, and Pelipper goes for Hurricane. Probably with a combination of Ice Beam and Hurricane, they were definitely expecting Diggersby to go down, but this thing is way too bulky with max special defense Assault Vest, so really, really fun Diggersby set. And what we can do now is just finish off the Pelipper because the Super Fang put it in max Airstream range, and we can go for a Super Fang against Trixie, and after another Airstream as well, Diggersby will be able to outspeed Whimsicott too, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, this Diggersby put in work this match. You'll see as well. That's not all. There's one trick it has left up its sleeve. It's such a fun set. So we'll go for the Super Fang, take down that Trixie. I mean, it was probably already in Airstream range, but this just guarantees it. You never know with Whimsicott how they're EV'd. But yeah, Energy Ball takes us down to 1 HP, but we still survive. After 3 attacks, 2 of them super effective from the opponent, they still haven't taken down Diggersby. They're probably wondering what I fed this thing, but it survives. This Easter Bunny is really putting in the work, and the battle was cancelled. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that last KO. But yeah, this is the team. So I'll put the team code up right now, and you guys can try it out yourself. It definitely could be optimized. This was just me playing around. The reason I put Rain on it was because the Sun matchup was really scary. I know that sounds weird when I'm leading with 2 ground types that are good against fire types, but in the Sun, Charizard can just one-hit KO Runerigus, and also, obviously, we're doing a Trick Room strategy, so Torkoal is very threatening. Torkoal is a monster under Trick Room, so I thought Rain would actually be a better defense. I usually lead the 2 ground types and then have Pelipper in the back if I'm going up against Sun, because it can stop the Sun pretty effectively. And also, we've got a pretty good Rain matchup too anyway, because it's a mirror matchup. But we have both Rotom and Ludicolo, so it's actually quite a good mirror matchup in our favor. So yeah, try the team out, see what you think. You can definitely play around with it, and let me know how many different things you're able to KO with the Runerigus. If you get the Runerigus set up in the Trick Room with the +2 attack and the huge power, it can one-hit KO so many things. It's so fun. That's going to be all from me. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you some more videos soon. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. I've been Foo, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.